Hello and welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm John Bachman. Joining us now is Congressman Bob Turner. He's now running for the U.S. Senate seat, currently held by Kirsten Gillibrand. Congressman Turner, it's great to have you with us.
Oh, thank you, John. It's nice being here.
Well, it has been a very busy couple of weeks for your campaign. You have hit the ground running, and one of the issues you've been talking a lot about is gas prices. Most recently, you've lauded President Obama's decision to expedite the southern portion of the Keystone XL pipeline. Do you expect Kirsten Gillibrand to come out and support the project now?
We are absolutely certain of that she will reverse course yet again. So it's only a matter of time. As a matter of fact, we've offered a gallon of gas to who can guess the date and time of her next flip-flop to the minute.
So you're offering up I saw that you're offering a free tank of gas, whoever can predict when exactly she's going to flop on this issue?
Yes, indeed.
All right, very interesting. Well, you still have to win, of course, the New York GOP primary, which is coming up this June. Tell us why you would best represent the Republican Party and would be the best person to defeat Senator Gillibrand.
Well, I believe that I have the best name recognition, which will be very important in a short race. Also, I've established a grassroots campaign and organization that has demonstrated they can do this job, and they'll be out to do it again. The Republican Party will need as much strength as we can on the top of the ticket. It will affect every race, Senate, Assembly, judgeships. So whoever has that senatorial seat is going to be in an important position to influence a lot of races in this state, and I think I'm best suited for that job.
Well, you pulled off what many people would consider a very big upset when you won a special election in a heavily Democratic district to replace Anthony Weiner after his lewd text message scandal. What did that victory teach you about politics?
Well, take nothing for granted. We will work hard, and we can turn it around. The real trick is not necessarily in how much money you have, but the correctness of the message. And I think in this election we have the message. And it will be on gas, it'll be on the economy, it'll be on jobs, it'll be on the deficit. I think we'll turn it around.
During that race, you had the support of former New York City Mayor Ed Koch. And this time around, he is supporting Gillibrand, serving on her re-election committee. What's your relationship with Ed Koch like now?
One of the best parts about the last election was having a friendship with Ed Koch. We speak quite often, usually at least once a week. He gives commentary and remarks. He will support, and he is a Democrat, he will support the Democratic candidate. But I believe our friendship will endure. And he's promised not to say anything bad about me. So.
Well, it's good to see Republicans and Democrats getting along. I think most people would like to see that. This is your first time serving in public office. You've been in Congress now for less than a year. What has been the biggest accomplishment of your term in the House?
Well, I think voting on various budget bills and the success of these is the problem. I have been part of 30 pieces of legislation that are now sitting on the floor of the Senate that helps job creation, deregulation, tax cuts, things that will stimulate the economy and business. The frustration is we have accomplished something, but nothing is really getting done. We've gotten it through the House, and it's sitting there on the Senate. The biggest frustration was the failure of the balanced budget amendment as well.
Is that frustration what's really pushed you to run for the Senate now?
Well, I believe that the big fight is in November. This is probably the most important election of my life, and I've been around a while. I just got to be part of this. I got to do my best to get the message across and help restore some sanity to Washington and our government.
Well, your current district, which includes parts of Brooklyn and Queens, has been eliminated by redistricting. Do you think this redistricting was done in a fair way?
Well, ultimately it was done by the court, so it's tough to say what's fair or not fair, but in what was left of the district, Any option I had was to run in a minority-dominated district that have, as in the past, voted, at least in the parts that are left, more than 75%, 80% Democrat. So there was not a fair shot here to retake this seat. It's been splintered in too many pieces. Some people say that it looked like punishment for embarrassing the Democratic Party. Maybe so, but I don't think so. It was done by a judge. I would take issue on how it was done, but that ship has now sailed, and if there's any fight left here, it's at the next level. The only area open to me now is the Senate.
Well, you do have an extensive background as a successful businessman working as a television executive. How do you think your experience in the business world would help out in the United States Senate?
Well, I think businessmen, and there are about 40 of us now in the new Congress, have a different starting point. We look for the practical and the doable. We have enormous problems here that are not insoluble. We can solve them. We've laid out some intelligent, practical agendas. And I think that's all we can do is bring our business mentality to the House and maybe the Senate to get things done in a proper, sane way.
Retiring Senator Olympia Snowe recently called the Senate dysfunctional. What would you do to make the Senate more functional?
Well, I believe Senator Snowe is absolutely right. I told you about those 30 bills that are all designed to move the economy forward and help correct some of the really dumb things this government has done in terms of regulation and taxes. They can't act on anything. They haven't done a budget in 3 years. It is just totally stagnant. And it can't be fixed until Harry Reid is no longer the majority leader and setting the priorities of what has to happen there.
And let me ask you this, and you may have already just answered my question, but I'll ask you anyway. What would be the first issue you would tackle on your first day in the Senate?
Well, I think our biggest budget problem is jobs and the economy, even ahead of the budget. And there are things we can do quickly in the Jobs Act and other things that are sitting on the shelf right now. I would do whatever I could to try and move them into action and put them in front of the new president for signature and action.
All right, very good. Congressman Bob Turner, currently running for the United States Senate in the state of New York. Thanks so much for talking to us here at Newsmax today.
Okay, thank you, John.